Michael, I'm gonna give you the floor to break your silence on Gotham Knights.
I've been waiting for this for weeks.
Let me sip my tea.
I try not to, ever since I was younger, I try not to judge things before I actually see them. And I know rightly now my thoughts will be immortalized on this podcast forever. So I'm very, very careful about what I say. But I will say this, you know how excited I was about Gotham Knights. We were all excited about Gotham Knights. It's the CW's new era's big show that they were building towards. It may not be anymore. But I will say this, that when that first trailer dropped, that excitement went way down. And I think by its very definition, a trailer is supposed to tease, excite, and promote something. And if we judge the Gotham Knights trailer upon what we saw, I think it failed at all three of those things. Maybe not promotion, but not for the right reasons. It was giving Batwoman season 1, and I don't mean that in a slight to Batwoman season 1. When the first trailer for Batwoman dropped, it killed the excitement for the show. And even though the show was far better than anyone predicted because of that trailer, not as many people tuned in as they should have, because that first trailer was a train wreck. Ooh. And the Gotham Knights first trailer is a train wreck. Again, you can take content and make it look good with a good trailer. You can take content and make it look bad with a bad trailer. Unfortunately for me, this was a bad trailer. I have thought about it. I was very diplomatic in my original statement that Reed so graciously read out. It used to so graciously discussed. But I have had time to sit with it. And I don't think in such a risky era for the CW, when it's cancelling hit CW properties, when it's trying to find a new CW era and is working with the biggest DC character of all time, that was the right trailer to drop. I'm not sure if that's the right show to produce. It's all giving early 2000s, we can't talk about superheroes, even though it's a superhero TV show kind of vibe. And the teen drama didn't even look as promising or interesting as CW teen drama feels. It looked CW-ish without feeling CW-ish. And I never thought I'd watch a superhero show and say, I wish that felt more teeny to me. But this felt grim. This felt angsty. This felt edgy for the sake of it and unnecessarily graphic. I don't want to see Bruce Wayne in a nice tux with a Batman mask on him with his throat slit. There was no need to see that. And the Bat masks don't look very high budget. I'm sorry, I've never seen a CW show trend in today's day and age the way that show trended in the days afterwards. I was off social media for a while at that point, obviously, while I was traveling. And when I checked in again, it was still trending and people were still dragging it. I am going to tune in and I am going to love it with all my heart, regardless of how good or bad it is. But that was not the right trailer. And that was a very poor promotional tease because it failed by its very definition to excite people for the show. There, I said it. I feel much better about myself now.
Thank you, Michael. And it's really accurate. I think it's the thing that is, I thought your Batwoman comparison is apt because Batwoman had a lot of pressure going in because they're not doing a Batman show yet. And so she would be the Bat presence. And then the trailer did not hit it. It didn't. And Gotham Knights has a similar pressure because of all the cancellations. This is the show that I don't know. I wouldn't say that Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman were canceled to make room for it, but it is the new superhero show that's coming to the network, and therefore, because those shows were canceled, it has a lot of pressure on it, and that trailer did not service it in any way. You have angry fandoms who are like, "This is what we gave up our shows for," even if that's not necessarily the case. That's what it feels like, and you want them to tune in to that.
I would love to know if there was another cut of the trailer.
I
can't imagine that they only make one trailer for these shows. They have to like decide how they're going to market it, and I want to know how they landed on this one.
I don't know. Part of me wonders though if they kind of knew, because why did it debut on the Facebook?
Yeah, that was weird. We talked about bad promo. That was terrible promo. It dropped on Facebook about hours before it dropped on any other platform. And suddenly the world was starting to talk about it in waves, and not because it had dropped, but because of how, quote, awful it looked. And then the official accounts dropped it when the world had already talked about it, when the world was already dragging it. And maybe that was intentional, I don't know. But like, I don't think this is as much of a success story as when Supergirl's pilot leaked online 6 months beforehand because it was ultimately successful. This felt like push it out, but don't push it too hard. Push it out. Don't let's see what people think. And by the time it got out there, the damage was done. And I do agree that there are probably multiple cuts of different trailers or whatnot. I know Batwoman produced a few TV spots before it debuted, and every single one of them was so much better than that trailer. And like, why couldn't you just have released that instead? So I hope it's epic. I hope we get to see some costumes, and I hope it's just better than what we saw. I want to say that in a nice way, but I don't know how you can sugarcoat that. I'm not saying this to hurt it. I'm not saying this to shade it. I'm not saying this against anyone involved in it. I still think the show is full of potential, but not a single drop of it was highlighted in that trailer.
Yeah, well, look, you're reviewing the trailer, not the show, so
yeah, exactly.
Feel free to say whatever you want. That's the material we have. That's the material we're going to talk about.
Exactly. And you already said you're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. We'll be there. Yeah. Perhaps I expect this pilot to be piloty. All the pilots are piloty. I know CW gets dragged more for it, but like, watch your pilots from the other broadcast networks too. Those, for some of them, but you tune in.
Yeah, pilots can be rough.
Very, very rough.